Slate just did a fascinating story about gun violence. They start out with this story. Carolyn Starks was 2 years old. Her 5-year-old brother was playing nearby with his birthday present. Oh, isn't that nice? He got a birthday present for his 5th birthday. .22 caliber rifle. Right. That's real smart. Give a 5-year-old a 22. Mom thought the gun wasn't loaded, so she went outside and she came back and there was a dead 2-year-old. Because the 5-year-old thought it was a toy because, hey, that's what you give 5-year-olds, right? And he shot his sister. This happens about twice a day in America. We have, if you are a child in the United States, you are 17 times, between the ages of 5 and 14, you are 17 times more likely to be murdered by another child than in anywhere, any other developed country in the world. And I'm not talking about gangbangers. And now Armatics has come out with this new smart gun, which requires you to wear a watch that has that sends a signal out that allows, it's probably just a magnet, a magnetic code that allows that gun to be fired. In other words, nobody can fire the gun except you, and you have to be wearing the watch on the same wrist as is holding the gun. And the NRA is opposed to this? If I was going to buy a gun, and I'm not, but I mean, if I lived in a neighborhood or had a job where I felt that, I really probably should carry a gun or I should have one next to my bed, I'd want it to be one of these kind of guns where I'm the only person who can use it, or somebody that I give the watch to, and I would just wear the watch all the time. It's a waterproof watch. You can wear it 24/7. Because the majority of guns that are used in America are not used to stop bad guys. The majority of guns that are used to cause a bullet to penetrate human flesh are used, they're not used to stop bad guys, and they're not used in crimes, as in burglary or rape or that kind of thing. They're used for suicide and for impulsive homicide. And what we know is that those countries like Australia that said enough already, and Australia is probably the best example because they're so demographically similar to us. It's a country of immigrants who stole their land from the native people and, marginalized and herded the native people onto reservations and have a by and large European ancestry that dates back to the Enlightenment, that holds Enlightenment values. And, our whole Western culture, that's their whole Western culture. The whole pioneer thing, they still have, I have a friend, his name is Jeff Guest, in Australia. He's a cowboy. I mean, literally. So, in Australia, when they got rid of the guns, and they didn't even so much get rid of the guns, they just said, they had this god-awful killing in 1997, I think it was, in Tanzania. And 30-some-odd people were slaughtered. It was their Newtown. And the people of Australia said, enough. And they don't have an NRA there. If they do, it's not anything like the NRA here. And their politicians there are not as easily bought off because they don't have a Supreme Court that has said that, their constitution protects the right of corrupt billionaires to buy politicians or corrupting, shall we say, weapons manufacturing trade associations. And so they had a nationwide buyback. They bought back 700,000 guns from people, got them out of circulation. What happened? The homicide rate dropped, suicide rate dropped. All other crimes, to the extent that crime tracks economic problems, I mean, as economies get bad, crime tends to go up. And the Australian economy has gone through a recession just like the whole rest of the world. But When you filter that out, there's been no change in crime, except for homicides and suicides, which are down.